Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy Vert here, coming live with a unique video today. We're going to be reviewing the multiplayer isometric ARPG called Pagan Online. This game recently became available for early access both on Steam and in the Wargaming shop online. Links for both will be in the description below if you want to check it out.
It up.
Now I do have to let you guys know this video is sponsored by Pagan Online, but that being said, I will be giving you my complete and honest opinion on the game. Pagan Online can be played currently only as solo, but in the future they'll be adding co-op modes so you can play with your friends. This game involves challenging combat with WASD controls, which personally I prefer over the click to move because I believe it gives you more control over your character. Pagan also has multiple challenging boss fights, a pretty lengthy campaign, and 3 different difficulty settings. Pagan Online is a pay-to-play game. There's no aspects of cash shop or loot boxes that will be added to the game. At the moment, the game is $30 both on Steam and in the Wargaming shop. To kick off the video, I figured we'd go over the 8 total heroes that are available, as well as the 3 starter heroes that you get to pick from. The first starting character is going to be a Berserker with the giant 2-handed axe. His trait allows you to get a temporary damage boost and life leech on every primary attack after using an ability. The left mouse button, pretty simple, just a cleave and the last hit doing a 360 AoE. He has a power slam, which allows you to leap and do massive AoE and generate extra fury. The middle mouse button is going to release a double shot shotgun and a cone AoE. The left shift is going to be a dash. You go through your enemies, leaving a fiery trail on the ground, which will damage them. His E is going to be a whirlwind, your classic Berserker spin to win. You gotta have it. Space is going to be another leap, which is going to damage and stun enemies for some added crowd control. His last ability is going to be execution. It's going to be a massive frontal cone that instantly kills most enemies that are below a certain amount of health. The second starting character, and the character that I chose to play, was Anya. She's a chick with a whip. Her trait is going to be Blood Right. Every time you kill an enemy, it'll drop a blood fragment that Anya can consume. Each blood fragment regenerates blood and health and temporarily increases damage. Her LMB is going to be a ranged auto attack. Her RMB is going to be a 360 AoE that pushes enemies back. The middle mouse button is going to be Bloodsucker. It shoots out a bat that goes through enemies and returns and heals you for every enemy hit. The left shift is going to be a dash through enemies that'll also life leech. The E is going to be a swarm of bats that you drop on the ground for a nice little AoE. It's going to inflict bleed on and a slow on any enemy that enters the area. Her space is going to be Blood Bolt. This actually costs some of your HP, but does a great amount of damage and roots your enemies. Lastly, she has Heartbeat. It's going to be a giant AoE that you can auto attack for more damage. It's going to root your enemies and then explode at the end to deal massive AoE damage. The last starting character is going to be Istok. He's a tank dwarf with a shield and a hammer. His trait is Thundering Bulwark. By receiving damage to his shields, Istok can build static charges, which temporarily increases his damage. His LMB is going to be a very simple auto attack, 3-hit combo. His RMB is going to be a massive frontal that deals lightning damage and slows enemies. The middle mouse button is going to be a mace throw range attack. It acts as a boomerang. Every enemy that's hit is damaged and stunned for great crowd control. His left shift is going to be Shield of Righteous. This is going to give you a shield and stun immunity for yourself and a weaker shield for all allies in range. All damage to any of the active shields will generate static charges for Istok. His E is going to be a massive taunt to pull all enemies into you. His space is going to be Overpower. You hit all enemies around you and heal yourself for each enemy affected. His last ability is going to be Thunder Fist. You summon a gigantic fist on the ground that deals massive damage and uses the static that you earn from the other abilities to deal bonus damage. Now we went over the 3 starting characters, but there's also 5 more characters that you can unlock through progression in the game, and I'll just go over them quickly just so you can see what you have to look forward to in the game. The first character is going to be Baroque. It's an assassin melee with a scythe. Next you have a Lucian. He's an arcanist, mostly ranged, and has both fire and lightning abilities. Next up is going to be Valaria. It's going to be a huntress wielding dual crossbows. Next up we have Damir, who's a ranged character but also has a bear in his control. And last up we have Masha, who's a fortune teller with melee, but it has a very mobile kit, as you can see in the video down below. Alright, now we're going to go over a few things I really liked with the game, and a few things I hope they add in the future. One of my favorite parts of the game was the WSD controls. Just the smooth combat and the movement made me feel like I was in control of my character the entire time. The game, for being in early access, felt extremely smooth and polished, even when having multiple enemies on my screen. The progression through both grinding and crafting felt very rewarding and was easy to follow. I didn't feel confused or lost at any point in my playthrough. Some things that I'd like to see in the future is all 8 classes being available to you at the beginning. For me personally, I chose the whip because it looked interesting, but after checking out some of the other classes, I think I would have liked to start out with maybe one of them. Something else I'd like to see in the future would be stronger combat effects to make the gameplay feel a bit more powerful. The combat felt good and it felt smooth, but when I was actually attacking the enemies, there wasn't a whole lot of wow factors or PogChamp moments, and I'm hoping they add that later on in the game. Alright guys, this has been my review for Pagan. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun playing it. I appreciate you guys watching this review, and thank you again to Pagan Online for letting me do this sponsored video. This has been your boy Vert, and I'm out. Peace.